Okay, with the director and writer of of the movie short film Exposed, played at the Thriller Suspense Festival. Can you say your name? I'm going to say it wrong, so just say your name.
Sure, Matthew. My first name is Siamak and last name is Dehghanpour.
I think I could say the first one. The last one would be difficult for me, so I didn't want to offend anybody by
That's no problem.
by messing it up. So,
I can go with Siamak, yeah.
so the Exposed is about a journalist who's about to do a high-profile interview with the President of the United States, and the country's on a verge of a significant war externally and internally. And as of we're doing this podcast on March 1st, 2026, seems like the same thing's happening in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that yeah, actually is I'm sure you know that it's kind of a dystopian society. So it's not specifically about the United States, so it
No.
just relates to the modern world. You're right. It's resonates with what we've been witnessing around the world. And it's just incredible to think that how many years ago was that I came up with this idea. It was actually a student project. A few years ago, I attended American University, a film school, and I had a writing class with Professor Claudia Myers, and she suggested for me to work on a short film, and she wanted to be a story, a script that could be potentially turned into a short film. So I had to add that in my mind, and it was in the peak of presidential election, and also not this one, a few years ago,
Mhm.
and so I also am a kind of a veteran journalist for 20 some years. I've been in broadcasting. So I also had this experience of conducting lots of high profile sit-down interviews with
Yeah.
politicians. So
So
that's
you know what you're writing. You know this world,
yes, yeah,
world of journalism. Yeah.
exactly. I wanted to bring people kind of behind the scenes, like into the mindset of interviewer and interviewee, that how this is going, how they play this game, and how they set up to get to their what they want from an interview, whether it was a journalist or it was an interview. So this case, as you mentioned, it was a president of a country in the midst of a election and also in the middle of a kind of a civil war.
So you mentioned that the it's a dystopian world, so it's not it's kind of a fantasy.
Yeah.
It's a it looks like Earth. People talking like they, but this is kind of like a bizarro Earth or something. Like how would you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, mm, the idea was to not to blur the fact and the truth behind the story and the concept, but to make it as universal as possible, so more people can relate to the story as broadly as possible. And yeah, the idea, as I mentioned, came with some people I had in my mind, some European uh, politicians, and then also some American politicians. So I mixed up those images in my mind and in my story to make sure it's as timeless as possible, and
Yeah,
not just, turn it into a story of a certain time.
but you can't. But the viewer can't help but draw comparisons to the world that we live in now, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, they can. I mean, and but as I mentioned, I'm not a I never been into any political party in my all my life. I've been an independent person when I was in Iran, and also I lived in Europe for a few years, and also the 25 years that I've lived in the US. Always have been an independent person, and so I didn't want to. people draw a conclusion that this is for this party or that party. I'm trying to take this story
Yeah.
and make political points. So it's just and probably you see the when you look at the film, I don't think you can make a conclusion that either a president or a journalist are 100% right. The story is just walks in a way that I want it to be, which is the no one is perfect. So
Yeah.
that's yeah.
There's nuance,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a word that seems to be like not everybody
Yeah.
has like you're either on
Yeah.
that side or that side, right?
Yeah.
So,
I didn't want to be judgmental about my character. I wanted to let them be who they are. So that was my goal. I don't know if I succeeded or not, but
but that said, the story is from the journalist's point of view. You start the story with the journalist. We're watching her. The president shows up in a hat and like kind of. So we're kind of with the way you set it up. We're with the journalist's kind of point of view, I guess, right?
yeah, completely. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But I didn't want to, because as I mentioned, it comes from my own lifetime experience. I never judge people based on their political opinions. So try to understand people, try to make sure whether people are from right or left or ultra right, to make sure I understand their
Yeah.
opinion, where they come from. That was always my intention as a journalist, and I want to my main character also be the same person, be open-minded, as much as she might be fearlessly pursuing the truth, but she's also um, and if they make a mistake in the story, and if somehow she got carried away with some moments in the interview, that's probably the weakness of anyone, even a
Yeah.
journalist can sometimes make a mistake.
I brought up the hat because it's like the current president of the United States. Anytime there's like war, he always wears a hat. So I just like, and so she comes to the interview with the hat. She's like taking
Yeah,
it off, right? So,
yeah,
but that's my point of view, right?
mhm,
Like I'm
yeah,
looking at it from my lens, right? And I think that's
yeah.
what this film offers nuance, so people could look at it from their own personal lens, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah. When we were making the film, we had a very diverse group of people supporting, helping me in the, process of creating it. And I always had people asking me, who did you have in mind when you were writing? And I totally honestly said that no one specifically. I had, elements of different people, but and one of the reason I wanted to have two female characters. I mean,
Well, I have that down as a question. So why don't
yeah,
you answer? Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So I mean, to be honest with you, I always been very um, interested mm, in working, pursuing stories focused on underrepresented people, minorities. And also women. When I was in Iran, I had a couple of projects because I started with um, directing stage plays in Iran and then making documentaries and short films, um, fiction films, and also here also I followed the same pattern. So here we have three characters, the executive producer, journalist, and president, all female characters with different agenda and dynamics. And I wanted to have this and not interject like a gender issue, but just to make sure that people can relate to this idea that you don't have to be specifically a male president or a male journalist to have certain
Yeah.
idea. Gender is not an issue in this world. So I wanted to make sure that even if we wish that one day we have a female president in the United States or other countries have had it already, as a prime minister, as a president. But even if we have it in the United States, it doesn't guarantee that
No.
just to be a female president, I mean, make sure that everything is going to be okay. So th that was
Yeah.
another, idea to challenge myself and also put that in front of people to judge, to
Well, when the British had more sway than they do now, Margaret Thatcher was the prime minister, and she was probably the most conservative prime minister ever
yeah.
in British history, right? So yeah, it doesn't matter the gender, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have now Italian, leader. Other part of the world, we have
Yeah.
female, very, I mean, powerful people, and we may agree or disagree with their policies, but yeah, there are so many of them, and India is one of the very
Mhm.
first one to actually. So it's not just about the Western countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in
By the way, if you told me
Indonesia.
that India was going to have a leader before the United States, I would say you're crazy. But
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so you were journalist. Are you still a journalist now,
Yes.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
so you basically did a lot, but then you went back into you did shot films in Iran, and then you went back to film school in the United States.
Hmm.
Why did you go back to film school? Like you went to American University. That's in Washington, D.C., right?
Yes. Yeah. I went to film school in Tehran. We have a very prestigious film school. It's called Danishkade Cinema and Theatre, which is it was a teaching how to direct the the play, and also film. And I studied actually, as I mentioned, theater, and then I moved for my master's to filmmaking. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish my master's in Iran. I had to leave the country and came over. I lived in Europe for a few years, and I came over to the US, and I went to broadcasting for a long time, over 20 some years. And in the middle of all of this, I was thinking I left my filmmaking, dream. And so I always wanted to come back to pursue that. And a few years ago, there was an opportunity for me to go back to school. And I said, I'm going to take it. It was really hard because I had a full-time job, it was family responsibilities, but I very much enjoyed it. I got to know lots of people. You make networking connections with
Mhm.
young filmmakers, academics, and I found had lots of good friends, and I'm very fortunate that American University gave this opportunity to me. Some of these professors are still in touch with them, and yeah, it's been a pleasure to you know, after almost 20 years going back
Yeah.
to school. Most of my classmates were like maybe 15 or 20
I
years
was going
younger
to
than
ask you
me.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And some of the professors was telling me that you just call me with my first name, just because some of them are almost as same age as me, some a little bit older. But yeah, I learned a lot because American schools are totally different than film school in Iran. We tend to focus more on reading, studying. Here in the US, you quickly go to, filmmaking. You learned how to improve your craft and work with,
Like
camera.
more hands-on.
Yeah, yeah. In
Yeah.
Iran, theory is first. You have to first learn the language of film and the theory and history of cinema before. So, I mean, some people may do it differently, but the amount of um, um, the part of the curriculum that is focused on philosophy of film and the language of cinema and all of this, it's much more heavier than what at least what I've learned from in my MFA program in American University.
So in terms of this film, so was everybody who worked on the film, besides the actors, like were they from the school? Like your DP, everybody? Yeah.
No, no, actually,
Okay.
like I can say, with the exception of maybe two or three of them, the other cast totally, I casted them outside of the school because I wanted to, have and not based on that the students were not good, but I announced it and lots of people showed up. It was actually a surprise to me that I had to, go through casting for a few days. I had for I don't know, 40 people for one of the characters and 20 or something for others. So it was a very learning process for me. And it was actually a first, my first fiction film with all American cast. So before that, I've made film with Iranians and some non-Iranian, but this one was the first that most of my team were Americans, with the exception of my DP, which is a very good and old friend of mine, Dehghanpour, and also my producer, which is also a good friend, Shirin Savai. But the rest, Ariana Almejan, Margaret McCabe, Raina Mary, and others were all American cast. And it was a pleasure to work with them. I learned from them, and they were very supportive. And we still working on it, as you kindly know that the Thriller Festival also gave us an award, and we've been blessed because so far we have had 8 awards, lots of official selection nominations. It's been an amazing ride. Yeah.
Well, you're definitely touching on something with this film. So, like 80% of the movie is the interview, and you kind of establish it with her talking to her boss and like kind of going to the interview, but it's really them having a conversation, like interview style. And of course, you're kind of making it cinematic, and you did a great job with that. But the two actors are obviously key to your film. Where did you find the two lead actors?
I did the casting on online, and then through what's it called? I forgot the platform. I will recall it. But we did it through, yeah, this online platform, and both of them, all three of them are local actors.
Mhm.
I had seen some of their previous work on the reels they provided. So as I said, I had um, good options. It was, and I had some, when you're making film, you had visual elements in your mind that how this character is going to look like in terms
Yeah,
of, and so I want to make sure that they not they're not presenting or representing a specific race. I wanted to make sure that this is as um, blended into not saying this is a white person or this one is, minority or this one. And I think most of them, probably all of them are in terms of the language skills are the same. So there's nothing that you can point into this is a, people from Middle East or not from, Asia or, so I want to make sure that those factors are not something that make people think that this is highlighting something like this. I want to make sure that the story is the center of everything and not those
yeah,
interjected, somehow social and political issues. Yeah, but all three of them that you mentioned were local actors, and yeah, and they also received a few, some of the share. I mean, with all of this success is because of them. They've been very kind to me and worked so mm, graciously with me. Yeah, and it's funny to tell you that we shot this film in a weekend because, as I said, this was a kind of a student project. I mean, I spent lots of money out of my pocket. It wasn't like a free project for me, um, tens of thousands of
yeah.
dollars. But but we shot it in a weekend. Yeah, we just had 2 days of studios available to us, and then I edit it myself because obviously I wanted to have as much control as I can, and also I didn't have money for to give it to someone else. So yeah, it's as I said, an independent project. It's a student independent project, but it was a good start for me to go back to fiction filmmaking because I've had a couple of documentaries,
Yeah.
uh, short and long documentaries, but this one was, and I'm probably am gonna continue this trend, maybe mix of making documentaries and fiction because both of them are. I enjoy it. It's not like I think maybe this genre or this type of
Mhm.
filmmaking is not mine. I always wanted to try something new, challenge myself.
So, yeah. So, what is next for you? You're gonna keep being a journalist, and
I, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just right now I'm working actually on the play. To be honest with
Oh,
you, I'm
okay. You're
working
working
on
on
it.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I think in May 9th we're going to have it on stage.
In
It's
Washington D.C. in the Washington
in
D.C. area.
yeah
Yeah.
in Tyson's Corner. It's in the Capitol Hall in Tyson's Corner, Capital One Hall, the world stage. And also I'm working on a feature script and a fiction. Hopefully, that would be my next film. Most likely something between 75 probably to 80 minutes. That's how I'm imagining it. I have a documentary project also in the process, and I have a book to write. So these are my next
You got
project.
you're working on stuff, I guess.
Yes, yes, yeah. I have lots of stuff beside my daily job, which is my journalism, broadcasting. And yeah, I wanted to make sure I also finish my book, which is about actually the art of the interview, because I've done like,
Well,
hundreds of interviews with many people, and I think I have a lot to share with.
well, one
Uh,
would assume that you're pretty busy in the journalism world right now.
Yes, yes, and especially you see what's happening in Iran because I work for VOA Voice of America. I mean, I'm here. I'm doing this interview in my personal capacity, not as representing the VOA in any shape or form. But yeah, my daily job is a TV broadcasting journalist who have been with VOA since 2003. So it's almost 23 years or so. Yeah, I've been host and reporter and managing editor and all different capacity. And also want to, before we wrap up, probably I wanted to make sure that I would like to thank my lifetime partner, Hamide, my beautiful and incredible daughter, Mashiane Dehghanpour, my mom and my father. And I want to take this opportunity to dedicate it to Iranian people who struggling for freedom and democracy.
Is your daughter there now, or
No, my daughter is here. Yeah, she actually
okay?
finished her doctorate,
Oh,
but
just the way you described, like, but are your parents there, or everybody?
my father, yeah, my father is there, but my mom lives in Europe. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I had one last question to ask you, and
yeah,
I'm just curious because you have a pretty big following on Twitter, and then you
yeah.
stop posting, and then you just stop posting. Like it's been years since you posted. Why did you stop posting? Why did you stop tweeting?
Mm. For a period of time, I was trying to, maybe I had a bit of time and try to be as active as I can on social media. But for a period of time, I got, as I mentioned, in with school, almost 4 years, 4 years for my MFA. I was super busy and I also worked. Uh, my work was also much, it required much more time. So I mean, I don't think there's any specific reason for it. Now I'm more uh, active on Instagram than Twitter, but I don't think there's any specific reason that I'm not as active on
Okay.
as yeah, yeah. But
I just assume because I'm assuming these days your bosses want you to tweet, right? Get you exposure, like get you kind of like traction. I just thought that that was part of the job. I don't know. Isn't that part of being a journalist now? You have to be on social media. You have to engage. No?
Yeah, I mean, it just agency to agency have different policies, but yeah, some agencies require more cautious on how you present yourself on social media because of the sensitivity of some of these issues. But yeah, but as I mentioned, it's just for me, it's been mostly personal decision because what I do on my social media accounts are my personal opinions, not
Yeah.
my work handle. So it's not an assignment for me to do this and that. And
Gotcha.
yeah, because
Because your Instagram is all about your filmmaking and your
yeah, yeah, exactly. Because and my Twitter, because of the origin of how I involved in Twitter, was most of it. You're right. My journalism work.
Mhm.
Maybe because of a few years ago, I mean turned toward my filmmaking, so I stopped using Twitter as much as I used to, and but I still enjoy because I use Twitter X more than any other social media as a
Mhm.
source of a news. So that still I spent tons of hours every week and every month to read. But Instagram has been fun. I don't have as much follower on Instagram.
You
Um,
got over 20,000. That's a
yeah,
lot. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Instagram also stopped at some point, and I don't know why. But I don't have time to go and fight with them.
Yeah.
But Instagram stopped a few years ago because I think my Instagram numbers almost freezed for past 6 or 7 years, maybe more. It's not changed
Yeah.
much. So I don't know how this
Well,
algorithm
I don't,
has
if you
changed
want to
yet.
fight with them, good luck getting somebody to talk to because I
No,
don't
no,
think you
no.
can. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna do that. Yeah, yeah. No, but I'm puzzled by how this works, and I really don't mind at this, point in your life. Sometimes you just wanted to communicate with your followers as
Yeah,
much as you.
exactly.
Yeah,
Well, your wife's a journalist as well. You mentioned your wife, and you guys are probably pretty busy these days. And thank you for your diplomacy. Like I know that it's probably a tough time right now when we're doing this interview, and and we kind of like skated what's happening, but it's good like it's kind of timely. Your film, it's kind of extraordinary, really. Like
thank you.
you probably made it like what, a year ago, and look what's happening now. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
really interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, especially when I finished the script, it was, as I mentioned, it was almost 3.5 years ago. Yeah,
yeah,
and yeah, sometimes stories live longer than you
yeah.
expected.
It's
Yeah,
uncanny. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah.
man. Well, let's talk soon. Let's keep in touch. I'd love to see what you do next. And good luck on your play, on your book. And then I think you got a feature film ahead of you pretty soon, pretty quickly. So keep
Yeah.
in touch. Let me know how it goes.
Thank you so much, Matthew. I appreciate that. It was a pleasure to talk to you.